Welcome back, everyone. We return once again to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now, when we last left off, we were just wrapping up Santa Monica. I found out the unofficial patch actually added a minor little quest to Trip to get him some drugs, which gives you early access to a handgun. It doesn't give it to you, but you buy it from him. But there's no real new dialogue or anything. It just kind of uses existing dialogue and lines and such. I'm not really sure it's restored content so much as just something the patch adds. But it's there if you want a slightly better handgun earlier in the game. Mostly racing, demolition dermies, and a bit of traditional missions. Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I really did like Teardown, and I'm definitely down for more content. But anyway, we are done with Santa Monica, so we're off to downtown to finally meet with our employer, Prince LaCroix. We're gonna meet this fella here, totally normal cab driver.
Where to?
Just drive. So yeah, this brings us to our world map thing. So there are 4 hubs in total, and you'll periodically visit this when you're going to some mission location that's outside of them. But this is kind of how you get around the city. Otherwise, if you're Nosferatu, you do the same thing from the subway, from the sewer maps down below. Anyway, downtown we go. Tear down for more content. Nice. Anyway, first time we go downtown, we've got this little cutscene here. Somehow we didn't notice that guy sneaking up on us. We're still a little new at this. I like to imagine we got this all done on the first night, so it's literally our first day.
Let's stake it and leave it out for the sunrise.
We're going to have a lot of fun with this one. Think you could blow up our warehouse and get away with it? Ah, lick.
So yeah, these guys are a little bit angry about the whole Astrolite situation.
Pull out its eyes and its tongue and its teeth.
I want its teeth.
Camarilla, fuck.
Ow.
Boys, I think we could all use a little entertainment. Those of you sitting in the first few rows will get wet.
This guy missed his calling. He should have been in theater.
Son of a bitch!
Hey, it's Nines.
Leave.
There's 3 of us, Rodriguez.
Yeah. 3 of us.
What are you gonna do? Shoot us?
Oh boy, came prepared with that.
This ain't over.
Also, those two need to call each other in the morning before they go out.
You too.
It's gotta be awkward when you show up to
You're both
a gang
dead.
beating and you're just wearing the same
Nobody
thing.
messes with the Sabbat and lives.
People
Keep
ask
moving.
questions. Just saying.
Trouble sure seems to like you.
Yeah,
Good effort.
not quite quick enough there, buddy.
Execution needs a little work. You look like shit.
Yeah, I know. Game didn't give you a character customizer. Doing the best I can. Thanks for the help.
Should have been more careful, newbie. This ain't the burbs.
I remember you from the court.
Kid, I got things to deal with. Why don't you pay me a visit at the last round tonight? I don't know what you've heard so far, but it's time you heard the real story.
I'll do that.
This is
yeah.
a mean existence. Stay out of trouble, kid.
I'll try. So yeah, a few interesting details there. This is the second time he's stepped in to help us, the first time being there at the court. He's got an agenda of his own, but he's a little more on the level than most of the people you meet in the game. But more on him when we actually get there. Far too sassy for someone so utterly ineffectual. Yeah, it's someone that should matter more to the plot than he does, but we'll get to that when we actually get to the last round. But yeah, now we are downtown. And in spite of the lack of traffic, they do a decent job with the geometry here. They give you, again, they give you just enough density. Where's the area map? Here we go. They give you just enough density to have some interesting things to interact with besides going straight to your mission stuff. So, our main destination here is Venture Tower, which is where LaCroix is holed up. Yeah, location of the Golf GF Club. Yeah, pretty much. But there is a lot to do. Actually, where is my... Here we go. So yeah, the Mud Hunt quest continues here. Mike Durbin is somewhere downtown here at the Skyline Apartments. Let's see... The Regent's Riddle. So Strauss, his hideout is also somewhere here downtown. So we're going to be doing a lot of talking here. But since we're parked right outside where we're going to go, we'll be seeing a lot of this building. Might as well head on in. Right, there we go. Ah, yes, that is a very important location. Thank you, Ivory. Good to know. Important for several reasons. Anyway, time for our first familiar face for the night. Or second, I should say.
Hey there, Chief. Small world, huh? Yep, after that gallery, I didn't think I'd be able to get a job guarding a room full of jack squat from the Boogity Man. But then I get a call offering me this sweet night shift slot, and I'm back in the security game. Well, enough about my lucky break. You, here to see one of the bigwigs, Chief?
I like the idea that he just kind of shows up here as, like, he loses one gig at a fairly small joint, and then he lands a pretty cush security job at this major institution. And I have to assume it's because they realize they need an idiot who will follow orders, understands procedure, and doesn't really ask questions. And that's kind of the exact person you want working the late shift that they front for a vampire organization. Anyway, yeah, I'm here to see LaCroix.
Would that be Sebastian LaCroix of the LaCroix Foundation, or Dwayne LaCroix of Insurrection Baby Formula Company?
Sebastian LaCroix.
Okay
Yeah,
then.
they
Mr.
get
LaCroix,
gigantic
he told
reason
me
for
to
you
expect
reusing the
someone
model.
for your
Exactly,
defense
yeah.
Sometime tonight. You go right on up.
Thanks, have a good one.
Yeah, you have a good power meeting, or whatever it is you types do up there.
I think if
need
you
any
do kill
security?
him,
Well,
he
you
gets
just ring the
replaced by
front
his
desk
cousin
and
or
ask
something,
for
and he
Officer
just doesn't
Chung.
have as much dialogue.
me,
It's
in case
close
you're
to the
wondering.
same thing, but I think they actually do have a model over the mustache or something like that. Thanks, Junk, I'll remember that. Bye. Anyway, up we go. Good to know the metal detectors don't work. I'm kind of carrying a lot of hardware here. I mean, not a lot, but I do have a gun on me. But we won't be needing that here. Not yet, at least. Anyway, time for the meeting with the boss man. And you might remember this big fella also from the court. He doesn't talk much. He doesn't need to. The sword he carries does all the talking for him.
There you are. I was informed of your presence in the
Ah,
building.
fuck me. Is the
Since
stream
you're
dying
here,
again?
I'll take the liberty of assuming
Sorry,
you've
LaCroix, hang on a
destroyed
second.
the warehouse. This is correct, yes?
Okay, hang on a second. Swear it's not an issue with Baldur's Gate. Twitch cannot handle vintage 2004 jank. Anyway, yeah, we're meeting with LaCroix. We're reporting on the totally legit mission he sent us on. That definitely wasn't a suicide mission. Anyway, yes, that is...
Most excellent. I had no doubt you'd prove my decision a prudent one. I trust you encountered no impediments to your progress on account of my personnel.
So, interesting little bit of reactivity here. If you want to be a dick about it, you can say Mercurio kind of screwed the pooch here, and he'll be punished off camera, and he'll actually show up later and attack you, like on an upcoming mission, where instead he would normally meet you regardless, but if he's on bad terms with you, he'll actually attack you. But yeah, the Santa Monica Kindred were a little two-faced, but that's about it.
A taste of what's to come.
There's no real benefit to you
have
doing
no
that. It's actually
idea.
in your
You've done
interest
well,
to stay on his good
circumstances
side.
being what they were. I will admit, not many in your position would have overcome such a trial. But don't misunderstand me. It was no fool's errand. You may yet prove to be a genuine asset. It's a bit disturbing the lack of talent within this organization as of late. Tell me, what would you say to doing a bit of reconnaissance for me?
Now, we're going to be a little bit of a suck-up here, and there's a reason for that, too. I'd say yes, sir.
Excellent. Were you by chance in the military at all? I was an officer myself, actually, in Napoleon's ranks. There have been whispers, rumors spreading around the kindred community concerning the Elizabeth Dane, the cargo ship that was towed into port recently. Have you heard of it?
So yeah, this has actually been in the news. If you watch the news loop long enough, you'll see that the Elizabeth Dane showed up. And this is actually a sly little Arcana reference. That ship was in there as well. But the ship showed up in the LA harbor, or just offshore, with the crew seemingly slaughtered, and nobody left on board. That's the ship we actually saw from the Ocean House Hotel. So that's where we're going to be going next. Yes, go on.
The police are investigating the Dane as we speak. Even the Nosferatu have little information on what's been found, However, the reason the ship has caused such speculation is because it was transporting an object called the Ankaran sarcophagus.
Gonna be hearing a
Now,
lot about
I'm
that.
not one to predicate a decision based on conjecture, so what I need is fact. And more importantly, I need evidence that the occurrences on the Dane were not supernatural in nature, and in no way relate to this Ankaran sarcophagus.
What do you need me to do?
You have 3 objectives. 1. I want you to examine the sarcophagus for anything unusual. You may sense something peculiar about the sarcophagus. In fact, many kindred in the city have reported an uneasiness in the air since the Dane's arrival. Do
All
not,
right.
under any circumstances, open the Ankaran sarcophagus. Secondly, the police have begun their investigation. Find out what they have concluded thus far. Thirdly, take the cargo manifest for the ship. I want to find out what else it was carrying. The last thing we want is police aware of our existence, so be careful what you do in front of them. And unlike the warehouse, you cannot wholesale slaughter a ship full of lawmen without consequences. Is this understood?
Nice little warning that if you go loud in this mission, it's a masquerade violation. Yes.
Good. Oh, and it has come to my attention that you had an encounter with Nines Rodriguez earlier.
Awfully
The
well
man so
informed.
does love to throw that cretinous charm of his brashly about. What exactly did Mr. Rodriguez say?
He asked me to visit him at the last round.
I see. Then, you should go humor the by-the-numbers rhetoric he's so desperately aching to spew. Oh, please, before the chance of fascist oppressor from that dive of theirs clog the air and choke the local kine.
I'll go see him right away.
Give the Anarch community my regards.
So, interesting little bit of there's another little bit of reactivity to your clan there. If you yourself are Ventru, he'll go into a thing about how it's important to sort of listen to the rabble, basically, and pretend to take their concerns seriously, and then just basically turning around and doing whatever you want. So again, there's a lot of nice dialogue recognition of your choices throughout the game, and even the specifics of your character. Okay. Right. Out we go. Actually, I'm going to check one thing real quick with a stream, just make absolutely sure. Every time I try to take the Anarchs seriously, Damsel reminds me that she exists. Oh boy. Yeah, I love that the other Anarchs don't really take her seriously either. Like how Skelter just refers to her as that college protester girl. And she does give that vibe off. So yeah, in spite of our current mission, we actually have quite a bit of leeway to explore, and there's quite a bit of talking to do downtown. Obviously, there's stuff to do at the last round. There's a lot of side areas we can do as well. You can see these guys here with the moon suits. That is related to a quest. Remember when the new World of Darkness edition came out and the characterization of the Bruja was focused on online activism? Oh god, yeah. I respect the commitment to the aesthetic, let's put it that way. But there is a way to replicate that without necessarily replicating the cringier parts of it. I mean, you know, you do have to be authentic in that respect. But anyway, last round is down at the end of the street there. And there is also, you see that little mark by the number 12 building? That, I think, is actually where Max's place is. It's not listed, but it's not a bad place to start. That's a good question. Where's that? Oh, that's right. That's actually up ahead. Before I do that, though, there is one thing I want to do at the last round, because there is a quest that actually takes us to that other nightclub. And I actually do like the detail that when you go to a place, there's usually not just one social area, but two. Like, yeah, you've got the last round, and you've also got, whatever the name of the club is here. Let's see, Confession, that's it. When you go to Hollywood, there's Vesuvius, and then there's also the Asphole. Anyway, yes, here we go. So this is Max's place. But again, they do a nice job with the hub areas and give you just enough areas to explore and look around. Well, AI is disabled. That's weird. While still keeping the player on task. Anyway, Max's place is nice. There's an interesting little quirk here. Alright, thaumaturgical creatures. Alright, E. Bankins, Regent, Chicago. Gargoyles. During the medieval conflict with the Semichi, however you pronounce that, Clan Tremere delved further into secret blood magic and created a race of protectors known as gargoyles. Since their inception, gargoyles have been used as scouts, warriors, and sentries. Gargoyles are monsters, vampires by virtue of the blood and flesh through which they are created. They are no more than the detritus of other clans, given a second chance to serve their Tremere creators. Unfortunately, many have wrongly come to view their service as slavery, and have fled their masters in search of some delusional utopia. Most escaped gargoyles live in isolation, preferring solitude to even the company of their own kind. Homunculi. For the most menial and mindless tasks, many Tremere create what is called a homunculus. These are mindless creatures which take many forms, winged, many-legged, or otherwise. Homunculi are unfailingly loyal, but their appearance makes them a serious threat to breaking the masquerade. So, yeah. Basically just telling you that Clan Tremere specializes in blood magic and does some weird things with its discipline. Now, you saw there, the level geometry shifted as we reported back here. There is a limited number of areas you can go here, and it kind of loops back around and magically teleports you either to the entrance or to Max's room itself, which takes a little bit of poking around till you figure out which area you're meant to go. So that goes there, that goes back to the entrance. Oh, wait, hang on a second. Oh, here we go. I mistook this for the entrance, but that's actually his study, or his little lounge area. Anyway, Max, good to see you. Your place is a little confusing. You could use some signage here.
Greetings, neonate. Might I assume you received my invitation? I have been looking forward to meeting you for quite some time.
Yeah, I got it. I'm assuming you are...
Strauss. Maximilian Strauss. I am the regent of this chantry. Welcome.
Yeah, this will be your main point of contact if you yourself are Tremere. And overall, Strauss is one of the more reasonable people you interact with. He's got an agenda, like everybody else in the game, but he's relatively upfront with you, and he's usually not hiding his motivations. Anyway, thanks. What exactly is a chantry?
A chantry is a local gathering place for those of the Tremere clan. I live here, as do apprentices from time to time.
Yeah, it becomes the player house if you're Tremere, and do certain things. Cool. And you're a regent here? What's that?
A regent is the leader of a chantry, as well as a teacher to young Tremere apprentices who are studying the mysteries of our clan.
Alright. Can you tell me about the mysteries?
I'm sorry, neonate. The secrets of the Tremere clan are hidden from all but those who share our blood. You would do best not to look into them any further.
So yeah, that dialogue would play out differently if we ourselves were Tremere. So what can you tell me, Max? What's going on here downtown?
Let me give you some advice, young one. Your survival in kindred society will often depend on your ability to find out yourself what is going on around you. Remember that well.
I appreciate the advice.
As for what is going on here in downtown, the word on everyone's lips, kindred or kind, seems to be epidemic.
Yeah? Why? What's going on?
It seems that disease has been spreading at an alarming rate throughout the downtown population. Considering our particular appetites, the local kindred are more than concerned about these developments.
Oh, man. So, two details I want to point out here. Again, we're seeing a lot of attention to detail on movement and positioning. So you saw he did his little head tilt when he paused and then said appetites. I love the effort that goes into stuff like that. And second, the other thing making this game great is just the sense of humor. See his reaction to this line here. Dude, that shit is whack.
Yes, indeed.
Just doesn't
My
even
opinion
blink.
is that
He's
the
just,
local
yeah, all right,
powers
let's
are
just
responsible for
keep
these
rolling with it.
outbreaks. Their precipitous indulgence of certain
This game
passions
rules.
often leads to such things. Ergo, their need for the watchful eye of the Camarilla.
All right, maybe I can look into that for you.
An interesting proposition. If you succeed in finding the cause of this epidemic and putting an end to it, I will compensate you appropriately for your efforts.
Sounds good. All right, I'll do it. We'll figure out what you owe me when I return.
Very well. Again, I recommend speaking with the Anarchs. You can find most of them at the local watering hole, reveling in the vices of their former lives. I believe the place is called...
Yeah, he has that
the
Morpheus
Last
vibe to him.
Round.
Kind of a knowledgeable leader figure. Anyway, before the... yeah, I'll remember that. I have a few more questions for you.
What is it you would like to know?
Tell me about the
The
Camarilla.
Camarilla. It is merely a kindred sect that exists to protect its members from the outside world.
Tremere, yeah.
There are specific codes of behavior that we abide by in order to ensure the continuance of our species.
Yeah, as we were
It is
saying, he has a
nothing
lot more
and nothing less.
role with your development if you yourself are Tremere. Can I ask you a few more questions about it?
Surely. What else would you like to know?
Nice. He's got the look, doesn't he? Anyway, are all vampires a part of the Camarilla?
No. There are many independent clans who are not aligned with the Camarilla. And the Sabbat is another sect of various vampire clans whose beliefs are very different than our own. Unsavory sorts, to say the least. I understand you have already run afoul of them.
Yeah. Good thing Nines was there to help out.
Ah, yes. The infamous Mr. Rodriguez. I understand you owe him your life twice now.
Love that
Had
look
he
down
not
over the
intervened,
glasses look.
The prince would have surely had that hound of his separate your head from your shoulders.
Yeah, you're probably right.
In any case, it's a shame that Rodriguez cannot see the wisdom of the Camarilla. He would make a powerful ally. As it is, he is a significant thorn in LaCroix's side, which serves my purposes just the same.
Put a little pin in that last sentence there. Yeah, aren't your purposes and the prince's the same?
LaCroix is a prince, neonate, and a Ventrue on top of that. Even if he weren't as young and indiscriminate as he's already proven himself to be, But I say too much. Let us just say that he and I have differing ideas on the use of power.
Let's see. In the first versions of World of Darkness, all supernatural entities were supposed to be vampires, and the Tremere were literally wizards, but vampires in a setting that had none. Interesting. Yeah, I did a little reading on this. Apparently, Tremere are especially distrusted because they used magic to essentially induce vampirism. They're not actually descended from a bloodline in the usual sense, but sort of just like created one, or something like that. I just read it on my on break at work. But it's interesting seeing that reflected in game, and that nobody really trusts the Tremere, and the feeling is kind of mutual. Anyway, it's alright, you can trust me. What's your true opinion of him?
Well, without saying too
Kind of
much,
like warlocks, I could see
I
that,
think
yeah.
that Sebastian LaCroix lacks the usual discretion necessary to be a prince. I see in him
Not
a
the lore
lust
for the version
power
depicted in the
that
game. All right.
overshadows his responsibility to the Camarilla.
Let's see. You think you could do a better job?
No, young one. I aspire not to such lowly heights. My only interests are those of my clan and the Camarilla.
I love this exchange. In that order?
You will do well in this new life, young one. That I can see already.
I like Max as a character. I feel like regardless of your build, regardless of your clan history, you develop a rapport. There's a certain measure of respect there. Anyway, I need to go. See you, Max. Toreador. In this version, they stole vampirism from the Salubri clan by omnowing their antediluvian. Oh, that's right, yeah. No, there was Diablerie involved. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm a very charismatic but not very seductive Tremere. Or Toreador, it's alright. I knew that was gonna trip me up. There's the exit. Exactly, yeah. Lives the high life, gets ambushed by some Sabbat with a baseball bat in the parking lot, entrusted with all manner of dangerous missions. You know, as one does. Anyway, we'll go down to the last round, which is on the end of the street over here, and have a chat with the Anarchs, who will provide us with a slightly different take on events, you might understand. We'll play a series younger years. You basically run Las Vegas. The character was an enforcer at the Bellagio. Nice! Yeah, it'd be fun to imagine them as sort of running businesses with a very visible front, and a very profitable front. Oh, this is interesting. Patch must have moved them around. Jack and Skelter are usually upstairs. Damsel is usually the first one you interact with. Anyway, might as well talk to Jack first.
Well, well, looky who made it back in one piece. How's Santa Monica, kiddo?
Didn't get to do much sightseeing.
I can't imagine you did. Probably too busy getting pushed around by every vampire with the weakest seniority over you, am I right?
Yeah, you could say that, yes.
That's usually the way the story goes. Same old bullshit politics from when you were alive. Don't it make you just want to rip somebody's spine out? What? You saying that's just me?
Later on, the lore changed to essentially be manufactured vampires. Interesting. Wyatt was also owned by other Toreador clans. That's awesome. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, I ran into Nines.
Yeah, not a moment too soon, huh? He said you guys left those Sabbat, though, too. Nines must be getting soft. How can you pass up that kind of fun?
Well, we don't get XP for kills here. You know how it is. How do you think they found me?
Someone must have put a word out. Now, here's an interesting little scenario. I'm just gonna run this by you, see what you think. What if the prince got the word out to the Sabbat that you were the one to blow up their warehouse?
You really think it's possible?
Hey, it's a theory, man, but who else is gonna be watching you so closely? Knowing where you're going and all that.
Why would LaCroix help the Sabbat?
I'm not saying he's working with the Sabbat. I know he ain't. But he sure as hell could have put the word out there on the street where the Sabbat would pick up on it. Just chew on that.
Alright. I guess I wouldn't put it past him.
That's how the Camarilla works, kiddo, trust me. I've been dealing with these slimy shits for a few centuries now.
Anyway, have you ever heard of the Elizabeth Dane?
Why? Planning on visiting?
Yeah, Princess sent me there.
Oh, really?
Why? What's up?
The sarcophagus. Did LaCroix tell you about the Ankaran sarcophagus?
No, but I don't really trust him to tell me the truth anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe I should fill you in on the details. That sarcophagus is bad news. Kindred around the globe have been going batshit since it was discovered.
Why?
The word is there's an ancient asleep in there. One of the fathers, one of the vampires that, if you trace your lineage way back, there's a chance it'd end up with him at the root.
So yeah, this is going to be a major point. This is going to be a major plot point for the rest of the game. Basically, everyone thinks there's an antediluvian sleeping in the Ankaran sarcophagus, thus a very massive citywide tug of war over it. Anyway, he was asleep this whole time.
Ancients don't just nap. They sleep whole ages away. And when they wake up, they're hungry.
So he'll wake up and go hunting?
It's more than that, kiddo. Most kindred think it's one of the signs of the end, the apocalypse. Every religion has their own version of it. Kindred call it Gehenna, and the way they tell it, it starts when the ancients rise to devour their children.
Interesting. Yeah, you don't really believe this stuff, do you?
Well, kiddo, I guess you're gonna be the one to find out. Hey, good luck. Try not to wake Grandpa Munster and kill the world, huh?
I'll do my best. But yeah, why is the prince sending me? Why'd he send me to Santa Monica?
Because he never thought you'd make it back. If Nines didn't stand up for you in the courtroom, you would have been toast right there, man. Everybody knows that.
I don't get it. Why did he want to kill me?
It's bullshit Camarilla law. You gotta get it approved before you sire anyone. Vampire population control, fascist crap. LaCroix wanted to look like the strong leader upholding the law.
Uh-huh. So how come I'm still standing here?
Public relations, man. Calculated risk. Venturer born in a boardroom. When Nines called him out, LaCroix realized it was time to show a carefully measured dose of Camarilla compassion.
Is LaCroix afraid of Nines? Thought he was the boss.
LaCroix is the boss of the Camarilla in L.A. That's it. LaCroix is a boss. That's rich.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's got that Napoleon thing going on.
The facts are like this. The Camarilla need us to buy into bullshit for any of their laws to mean dick. Now, telling free-living vampires they need to be ruled is a hard sell. So, the Camarilla baked up a play nicey plan. Show everyone how great they are, so we'll all just jump on board.
Not working?
Kid, we've lived in California, some of us for over 100 years, and we've kicked the Camarilla's ass out of town before. Seems like every time they smell blood, they're back trying to take over.
Who's we?
The free living dead, kiddo. A lot of people like to use the label anarchs. Whatever the hell that means. Anarchs. Those got a nice kicker, though, huh? Yeah.
Alright. Let's see. Got a few more questions.
Sure thing, kiddo. Fire away.
Let's see. Tell me about the Sabbat.
The Sabbat are worthless, man. Fake tits on a zombie worthless. Under watch, though. It's like the Three Stooges with chainsaws.
I see. What's wrong with them?
The Sabbat are in the same business as the Camarilla. Sabbat have a little longer chain.
I aside from the fact that they've been trying to kill me this whole time.
Moving right along.
So yeah, Jack is a helpful source of information, and actually as you uncover names of individuals within these factions, you can return here and get more information about them. So if you want a little more background detail, you might as well... he's a good person to ask. Yeah. Very crazy folks, I can believe that.
Oh, my favorite topic.
Let's see... Alright, so we can't ask him about Max, unfortunately.
I'm not saying let's go torch the Malkavian living under the abandoned hotel because
But yeah,
he happens to be a Camarilla. I'm saying let's change that shit from the top down.
Alright. Yeah, we'll wrap up there. But yeah, basically, this goes back to the structure of the game and how it kind of moves smoothly from social area, quests within the social area, then designated mission areas, then back around again. And it gives you a lot of downtime to just sort of absorb the setting and get to know people, get to know the politics, and pace yourself before you have to start committing to your build or making decisions about the actual plot. Anyway,
poster child for Camarilla benevolence.
Time for another of the Anarchs, someone who's a little more confrontational. Funny. Nines Rodriguez around here?
Nines is expected. Have some manners and don't wear out your weapon. Step again, and I'll be the one showing your actions to the
Yeah, that definitely comes up in dealing with them later. They've got their own interest in the Yankaran's sarcophagus, but they're more of like a secondary antagonist. Kind of a recurring problem. Anyway, yeah, alright, you got a few minutes to talk?
What's up?
None of this vampire shit makes any sense to me.
You gotta understand, Kendrick. You're carrying a 6,000-year curse in your blood. No matter how powerful it makes you feel,
actually, it makes me feel like shit.
that blood is a tangle of chains that's gonna leave you bound in servitude the rest of your existence.
You think so?
Your elders command the blood. They control the blood, and the blood listens. You'll never even hear their call, but the blood will, and it'll make you obey.
So, less of an issue with us since our sire was decapitated, but the whole point is that you are basically on a, you're basically on a certain rung, and your generation basically determines what rung you're on. The higher the generation, not only the more powerful, but the more you can basically order people around. So there's a direct line between what generation you are, how powerful you are as a vampire, and where you are in the pecking order. Anyway, yeah. How can you break free?
That shit stretches all the way back to Cain, man. Nothing you can do. Some ancient sleeping in a tomb half a world away has a bad dream, and you gon' feel that shit. Like it or not.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of the Sabbat in this game. You do get more of their anarchic side. There's one figure of interest we'll encounter much later in the third hub area, but mostly they're just a pack of mook vampires that we deal with periodically. Who's Cain?
Cain, man. Father of all vampires. Killed his brother Abel and was cursed by God to walk eternity feeding on the blood of his children. Some heavy shit, man.
You mean Cain from the Bible? Really?
Keep your voice down. Screen reading? I don't know. Not sure I want to know.
Right, if you're older, you'll statistically be more lower generation. Alright, so where are you going with this?
The point is, with this curse pulling your strings, you really want to sign away your right to fight by joining the Camarilla?
Let's see. What have you got against the Camarilla?
But Camarilla just ain't necessary. Their rules is just common sense shit. The masquerade and all that. Sure, it makes sense. Like the Ten Commandments. You know the Ten Commandments, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not kill. Sounds good, but you and me both know that shit don't always fly. What if some society like the Camarilla comes along and just up and kills you if you break one damn command?
I see your point.
See, we weren't meant to live like that. I followed someone else's rules for 3 years in Vietnam, but it wasn't until after the embrace that I understood real aggression.
So yeah, this is another interesting detail where every character doesn't just have a role in the story, but they have a specific history. So you see Skelter here was in Vietnam, and you get the sense that his experience there taught him to be just distrustful of authority. Nines grew up in the Great Depression, and that shaped his views politically. There's a lot of work done with not a lot of dialogue to build character, and that is reinforced with the way they're set in the environment and their expressions and such. Again, just strong characterization even for secondary characters throughout the game. Yeah, don't you follow Nines?
No one bows to Nines Rodriguez. He leads by example, down here with us. Bet him some chicken shit, limp wrist paper pusher.
Generation doesn't really dictate your power, just cap on power. Interesting, alright. Do you agree with the Masquerade?
I don't need to bare my fangs to feel good about myself. The Masquerade is a fruity Camarilla lady. Other than that, I ain't got no problem with it. Live and let live.
There's a more practical reason I'm poking him, other than the fact that the conversation started that way. It does make sense.
You know, speaking of the Masquerade...
Here it is, yes.
I just thought of something you might be able to help us out with.
Tell me about it.
There's this girl who's been making a lot of noise lately. A real pain in the ass. She's a ghoul of this one Toreador creep who disappeared.
Oh god, I hate those guys. What's her name?
Her name is Patty. She hangs out in the clubs downtown.
So yeah, she'll be at the other club we go to very soon.
His best friend. It was all fun and games until her vampire sugar daddy stopped calling. Now she can't get her blood fixed and shit ain't so fun no more.
Why don't you just tell her? Doesn't she understand he's gone?
Man, she's been told he was dead. She don't listen. Just asks again louder. Damn junkie. She's gonna make a scene and get us all some real heat.
What kind of heat you talking about?
Vampire hunters, man. You start doing stupid shit and breaking the Masquerade and you'll see what I'm talking about. Trust me. Hunters are the kind of trouble you don't want.
Alright, so what's the problem with this ghoul?
She's crossed the line. Only time that mouth ain't blabbing is when it's sucking vampire blood. She's gotta disappear. Do this, and we'll keep it our little secret, you hear?
Alright. Yeah, I'll do it to uphold the Masquerade. Both options are a little more committal than I like, but alright.
I'd love to do this one myself, but I know it's silent. Just let me know when it's done.
So yeah, I find it interesting that we get this quest not long after we could have turned the one girl at the clinic, Heather, into our ghoul. And it seems like the right thing to do at the time. But it does have some dire consequences for Heather down the line, and we start to see the things that can go wrong with having a human servant. Anyway, here's one of the other, less charismatic anarchs.
Sabbat chased you in here, Cammy?
What are you talking about?
Heard Nine saved your ass
Don't look
again.
left, it's dance.
You think
Heck.
LaCroix would have stopped counting his money long enough to get your back, Jack?
You know how it is. You make eye contact and suddenly you're having a long-winded conversation about politics. What do you mean again?
Cammy, you'd have a whole lot less above your neck if it hadn't been for Nines calling the prince out in that courtroom. Shit. Looks like things worked out for LaCroix
I like the
anyway.
t-shirt, though. I want to get a copy.
Got himself a new errand boy out of it.
What is your problem?
Oh, you want to know what my problem is? All right, I'll tell you what my problem is. You ready? You are my goddamn problem. Anyone who would lay it down for some cape in an ivory tower deserves what they get.
Cape?
Cape, Cammy. Camarilla elders. The ones that have been around so long they think candlelight's
Yeah,
a
what the...
keen
Right,
invention.
sorry.
You're doing their
Tripped over
dirty
that. Should have
work
been what
and
the
you
fuck is
don't
your
even know
problem.
it.
Really inspires me to bring volatile defenestration back in vogue. Yeah, what's my alternative here?
You want an alternative? Being you. That's a step in the right direction. I'm Damsel, den mother of these mothers, and one pissed bitch since LaCroix ruled down.
Right. The Tremere region says an anarch is responsible for the local epidemic. Let's not phrase it that way. Pissed, you don't say. Drink some bad blood or something?
Don't even joke about bad blood at a time like this. Don't you know we've got a plague bearer around here?
Plague bearer?
A plague bearer's a plague that doesn't care who they feed from. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. We can't get sick, but the kind can. And kindred that feed on them start spreading disease. Enough get sick, it's an epidemic. CDC's in town as we speak.
So how do you get rid of one?
Seen Old Yeller? May sound cruel, but it's necessary. If someone puts together 2 and 2 as to the real cause of an outbreak of bloodborne diseases, guess what happens? So the plague bearers gotta be found and put down. If the Camarilla really gives a damn, they'll help us out.
Okay, well, the Hanax helped me out before. Where do I start?
One of our boys' ghouls, name's Paul, lives nearby in the Skyline Apartments. Been a stranger lately. Looked like death last time he was here. Said he didn't get bit, but maybe you can get more info out of him.
Alright, I'll go check it out.
Wait, if Paul's not talking, you might want to start questioning the homeless pot. So many have been dying lately that it takes the city a few days to pick up the bodies.
So here's an interesting fork in this quest. You'll be doing both of these, but you can do them in any order. And again, it plays to the game's strengths of looking around, asking questions, and doing some light detective work as you figure out what's next. Now, one interesting detail with Nines here before we get talking. I believe he bumps up your brawl skill regardless of the point cost. So I'm going to bump this up 1 level. And I think if we make the right choices, he'll bump it up even further.
You showed up. Good. Here's what I gotta tell you. And so you know, I don't lecture, I don't rap, I'm no bureaucrat. I'm just a guy out of nowhere, came to be involved in something 500 times bigger than
Bloodlines 2
you.
is going to be trash regardless. Remember how Damsel was the one character they decided to bring back from BL1 in the Hearts? Oh, God. Of all the frickin' people. And, yeah, go on.
You got a right to know the score. The Camarilla, this is the short of it. They operate a lot like a pyramid scheme. There's a bunch of these old-timers at the top with God only knows what plots in mind. They lose their power, they die.
Like, they could
They
do
sired
something
more to
interesting
carry out
with the
their
character,
plans,
but almost
looking for a
certainly
little
they
power
will
than
not.
Those kindred sired for their own schemes, and so on and on and on. It hurts my head just thinking about the mess. What it works out to is this. Only a few people at the top have any real power.
Let's see. Isn't the Prince the leader of the Camarilla?
LaCroix? Shit. LaCroix's just the guy who backstabbed and wheeled and dealed his way into becoming king son of a bitch of all the local Camarilla. Him and any of the traitors that sided with the Cam want power here, they'll get what's due.
So it's a pretty big detail in the setting that the Camarilla have only recently returned to Los Angeles, but it's interesting that you, the player, have no real way of knowing this. We're kind of wandering into this basically blind and stumbling from one thing to the next, only barely surviving by virtue of being, well, having quick save at our command. But anyway, so what are you all about?
I learned the way of this world during the Depression. Bunch of old rich bastards screwed the country. But did they suffer?
Oh, that
No,
was the hard to
the little
version.
people
Okay,
suffered.
yeah.
You can't trust the people at the top. The world would be a better place without them. All you can do
She
is
does
get
get a
group of
little bit
people
better
together
if you
who aren't
stay
assholes.
with the
Find
Anarchs
a place to
through
put your
towards the
feet
end
up
of the
and make
game.
some examples of the quote-unquote elite.
Still
Keep the
very
rest the hell
much
out.
a person that
Everyone's an equal
is...
here. The same thing this country used
You
to
have
be
to put
about.
in work to tolerate
LA
them,
has been.
and not everyone is
Anarch,
going to.
free
Let's put it
state.
that way. So the Camarilla is new to LA, so yeah.
The Camarilla was kicked out on her ass a long time ago. We, the Anarchs, didn't want to play their politics anymore. Now LaCroix and crew pop in like they never left? No goddamn way. Their laws don't apply to us.
Not a fan of the Prince, huh?
LaCroix represents everything I hate. The Camarilla, stuck-up aristocrats, rich businessmen, crooked politicians. The only place LaCroix belongs is in an urn.
So yeah, definitely getting that sense of growing up in hard times and learning that basically everyone in authority is out to fuck you personally. Alright. Without them, who would sponsor artists? You? Wrestling shows for everyone. Okay, I gotta pick this.
The hell with you then. You go on back to your tower. Say what you want about me, but not one of us in this bar is a no-good, two-faced, backstabbing, would-be tyrant like that son of a bitch.
Okay,
LaCroix.
calm down.
He and his Camarilla are on borrowed time. You tell him Nines Rodriguez said so.
You look fabulous with a little bit of a tan. I'll do that. Goodbye. Now, hang on a second.
Thought I told you to get back to your tower.
Ah, son of a
Run
bitch.
along. I think LaCroix's shoes need...
Ah, damn it. Okay, so that cut off the dialogue for good. Never mind. Let's try that again. Let's see.
I got there.
Oh, that's an interesting change. I skipped over it, but yeah, the animation was him drawing his gun. Normally, I think he just gives a middle finger or something like that. Ugh.
No such thing.
Okay. One more question. Any advice you can give me? Here we go.
Here's what I tell all the new blood. 1, you get careless, that blood will make you into a monster. But you rampage around here, you get put down. 2, don't kill when you feed. No reason to. In this city, there's lots of ways to slake the beast without leaving a trail of dead. 3, the Camarilla's full of shit. 4, watch your back, always. And lastly, learn how to fight. because the speech ain't gonna save your ass when you're staring down the barrel of a shotgun.
That depends. Speech checks work out sometimes. Can you teach me how to fight?
You probably already know the basics.
Ah, damn it. Okay.
LA's the
Okay, so trainers also only take you so far. Here we go.
After picking your ass up
Here
off
we
the
go,
pavement
alright.
back there, yeah, I can tell you don't even know the basics. Hold your hands up like this, and keep your body at an angle. Makes you harder to hit. Keep your thumbs out of your fists and put your weight into your punches.
I like that it's actually practical advice there. Like, if you're going to punch someone, that is actually good advice if you want to position yourself properly and not break your thumbs when you're about to hit someone. Anyway, thanks for your help, Nines.
LA's the school of hard knocks, so keep...
Yep, got it. So yeah, free brawl skill. Thanks, Nines. It won't be the last time he teaches us useful stuff either. There are other people in the game who can give you little bonuses there. They do, apparently. They almost certainly cap out as well, but it's one of those things that in subsequent playthroughs lets you save on skill points here and there. Anyway, so we got a few things on our to-do list. We gotta go chase down Patty the Ghoul, who's at the other nightclub. Excuse me. We gotta go look for Paul,
Hey, buddy, go your own way.
the ghoul at the Skyline Apartments, who might be a plague bearer. What is that? Those guys? I don't think they have ambient dialogue. I believe that is all down this way. Although you do want to keep an eye out for people on the street, because occasionally there's a very fun thing where random people will start fighting each other, and the animations for it are hilarious. Because every human in this game broadly uses the same set of combat animations, so you get like random street thugs and pedestrians that just like start kung fu fighting each other and doing spin kicks and such. The jank is part of the charm with this game. Anyway, time for one of the most important characters in the game, although you wouldn't know it to look at him.
Player, what's the score? How they hang? Good evening and all that commotion. Welcome to Fat Larry's Trucker Mac, the only store for all your needs after 10 o'clock. I am the proprietor and salesman of the month several years in a row. The ladies call me, oh God, but you can call me Fat Larry with a F-A-T, because I know I got a weight problem. I just don't give a fuck.
I like the cut of this guy's jib. What do you got in the truck?
Now, that is a legitimate question, but a better question to be,
Can you repeat that in the Queen's English?
Because at Fat Larry's, my motto is, everything's got a price, but I probably know somebody who can get it anyway.
Fat Larry speaks Fat Larry English. Anyway, you gonna talk all night? You gonna sell me something?
Nah, that's what I like to hear. But it's like this. I save my best stuff for select clientele. Now, that don't mean I don't appreciate your business. It's just, business.
Fair enough. Show me the merchandise. So yeah, he's going to have he'll have a small selection of goods here, but crucially, he will have ammunition for weapons we pick up later. So right now, we can buy ourselves a handgun, we can buy ourselves a MAC-10. We won't be buying this just yet. There's a place we can get one for free. We're definitely buying this. And can we afford heavy clothing? Not yet. Shit. Might as well sell this off. I know if you buy enough from him, you can get a quest right off the bat. But we're going to need a little bit more cash for that. So, let's go get more cash. Paradoxically, we do that at this here nightclub. Oh, we got physics here. Turnstile. Alright. Here's our ghoul, Patty.
I knew you'd talk to me. I swear you were all, totally drawn to me. I'm surprised I don't know you. I usually meet all the LA vampires out on the scene. Not a lot of you out tonight, which is weird, because I don't know of any parties going on.
This is definitely the attitude of a scene girl that knows, one or two people there, and everybody else just kind of barely tolerates her. It's just kind of funny that the scene is just, vampires. Vampires, huh?
No, come on. It's totally cool. I'm Patty. Seriously, everyone knows me. Besides, I just wanted to ask you if you've seen someone.
Fine. Who?
His name is Kent Allen Ryan. He's a Toreador. Really good looking, dresses really well, like all Prada usually.
Prada. Someone's on salary. Shit. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I do know him. I saw him recently.
You are totally awesome. Well, it just goes to show you that you don't have to dress cool or have a lot of power to be a cool person. So.
Right. So yeah, there's actually quite a few options here. So yeah, we can send her behind the church if we want to just deal with her ourselves. And holy shit, that fucking scrunched up face. What the hell? Not one of the Source Engine's prouder moments. There's another resolution to this that deals with her, with a person we haven't met yet that is fatal. Let's just say we can send her under the hospital, into the basement of the hospital nearby, and bad things happen to her there. But yeah, the easy way out of this is just this persuasion option here. He went to San Diego for some business deals he had to act fast on.
Oh, that is totally Kent. He's so like that.
Hey, Patty, come here. I want to tell you my best joke. Oh, man. Yeah, just drive down to San Diego. In fact, I probably should have told her that he's in, like... He's in New Jersey or something. Yeah, he went to Trenton, New Jersey. He'll be there for a while. But yeah, she is going through blood withdrawal, and as Skelter said, she's beginning to make a nuisance of herself. And it's just kind of an interesting point of contrast to the ghoul you might have, to the woman you might have ghoulified, basically. Anyway, time for the most important person here, and one of the most important people in the city.
Everybody comes in here's got to have a shot. House rules. Inhibition's the first thing to go. 2 more of these and you'll be telling me your nastiest, dirtiest stories. I am your beat priestess, and it's time to confess.
Let's see. Who are you?
Venus was her name. Got anything you want to confess?
Oh, man. A few nights ago, the life I knew was obliterated.
Sounds serious. I'm going to need details, so I know whether to pour a Hail Mary or a highway to hell.
I love these options here. The warehouse that blew up in Santa Monica, that was me. I like to drink blood. Human blood. I voted Republican one time. Done.
Really? I don't think I've got anything in this place that's going to wash
You don't
away
understand.
that
It was the 90s.
You know what?
I listened to a lot of Rage Against the
Nothing
Machine.
exciting ever
We
happens
didn't
in
think the
heaven
election would be
anyway,
that
right?
serious. Nobody knew 9/11 was going to happen. Yeah, being an angel sucks.
Oh, yeah? I've been waiting for someone like you to come in here. You see, I've got this situation that's gotten a little out of hand, and I need someone to inform some people that they won't be getting paid this month. Intrigued yet?
Intrigued? Go on.
Well, the parking lot next to the Empire Hotel. Couple of guys, Russian accents, bit thick. I need you to tell them Venus doesn't have their money. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Alright, I'll do it.
I expected you'd bite. Empire Hotel. Tell them I'm broke. You can run, right? Never mind. Just don't go starting any street fights, alright? These guys are connected. Anyhow, a lot of people have yet to confess to the beat priestess. Later, darling.
Alright, back in a minute. Alright. Let's see. Forget, is there anything dropped around here? Restricted. Yeah. Not just the big titty goth GF, she also had prodigious amounts of alcohol. Alcohol. Exactly, yeah. Get you a woman with that fashion sense and that level of spirits on hand. But yeah, it's just another example of how basically every character in this game is selling it. The VA direction is fantastic. The modeling, while crude nowadays, has a lot of personality and character to it. There's just so much good about this game, even on a moment-to-moment basis, even in the incidental little stuff you do along the way. Now, Empire Arms is right down there. Skyline Apartments is right next door, so a lot of little questy thingies are going to... We're going to have a lot of little quest things to do here all at once. First thing, we'll go here in the Skyline Apartments. We're looking for Paul. Modeling reminds me of another game I started replaying again. Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning. Yeah, that game had a lot of, I know that game had a weirdly high amount of effort into it. Let's see. So, Here we go. P. Anderson. So this is a nice little apartment here. And Paul, I believe, is on the 5th floor. It's kind of an apartment where every floor is basically just one apartment, but each one is more or less a loft. It's really nice. But yeah, I've been meaning to get to Amalur. That's it. Yeah, I was trying to remember the story behind it. I know it had something to do, and it like the state of Rhode Island funded the studio, and was when they went to get a return on investment, they basically found it was impossible, and the state actually took ownership of the IP for a while. Yeah, it was an unmitigated disaster. A shame, really. Anyway, bit sus that our ghoul here left the apartment unlocked. Oh, and now we find out why. 38 Studios, that was it. Oh. Oh god, okay. We're checking out, trying to stand on Paul here.
Hi, Paul. It's Hannah. Just calling to see how you are. I hope I didn't give you what I've got. I feel like crap. Actually, I need to ask you a favor. Could you pick me up some cold medicine at the store? I hate to bother you, but I can't seem to get out of bed. The code on my door is 1203.
Alright, Hannah,
Listen, I had a really good time the other night. Maybe we could do it again sometime. Sorry, I'm rambling. Okay, bye.
An old friend who rated in WoW was a lead developer, put a lot of hours into it and told me stories. Oh, man. You know, it's funny. I actually know somebody... I used to work with somebody whose cousin was also on the dev team. I forget what he did. He was like just a tools engineer or something, but I didn't get to ask him a lot about that, but it was right about when the story started breaking about the troubles during development. And yeah, it sounds like there's just a lot of chaos that was barely under the surface and that just exploded when it became obvious that the game wasn't going... When it became obvious that the expenses were not going to get a return. Yeah, it's one of the more darkly fascinating stories in game development. Good concept, but zero direction of where the hell it wanted to go. Yeah. That is a shame.